Dear friends, I have a very special invitation for you. My husband and I have been invited to perform at the Holiday Candlelight concert, which is part of Odyssey chamber music concerts. We have been asked to prepare a program of cello and harp music, and we have a cello and harp duo called 51 Strings. We have worked on a really nice program for you. The main feature will be music of Ludovico Einaudi. His music has become really special to me as I fell in love with it a couple of years ago and just recently transcribed his music from piano to harp and released an album of entirely Ludovico Einaudi's music. We will also play together couple of Christmas songs for you, and also music by Brazilian composer Heitor Villa-Lobos, the song of the Black Swan, which is one of my absolute favorites in the combination of cello and harp. So lots of good music for you, and let me give you a sample of Ludovico Einaudi's Una Mattina. That this music really pulled you in, and you will join us on December 12th at 7 p.m. for the Candlelight Holiday concert at First Baptist Church in downtown Columbia, Missouri.
Hello, my name is Peter Miyamoto, and I'd like to invite you to the next Odyssey Chamber Music Series recital, which will take place Friday, December 12th from 7 p.m. in the First Baptist Church. It's a special concert because we will fill the stage area with hundreds of flameless candles, and it will be a beautiful ambiance to enjoy some holiday music. It will be preceded from 6 to 6:45 in the Broadway entrance to the First Baptist Church with some hot cocoa. The programming of the concert has a lot of variety. I believe Maria Treevor has already introduced the set that she and her husband Kirk Treevor will perform. This is such a special sonority to hear the combination of harp and singing cello lines. Also on the program, senior organist at First Baptist Church, Colleen Osterkamp, is featured in a duet with Ayaka Tsuruda, and they are doing some holiday tunes. In between these sets, Ayako and I will perform perhaps a slightly more serious work. It is the Six Morceaux, or Six Pieces, by Sergei Rachmaninoff. They're written for two pianists at one piano, so piano four hands. The Six Pieces exhibit the hallmarks of Rachmaninoff music: beautiful melodic writing, lush harmonies and at times great virtuosity. But the subject matter, I believe, is a little bit more serious. In short, Rachmaninoff's musical hero at that time was Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky. Rachmaninoff was introduced to Tchaikovsky's music through his older sister, who taught him piano for a little bit and was a fine pianist herself. Unfortunately, she passed away, and that was part of the equation that led Rachmaninoff to need to find a new start while he was studying in St. Petersburg. So at some point he decided in his teenage years to move to Moscow, where he entered the conservatory there. At the Moscow Conservatory he thrived. He finished a kind of pre-collegiate program and then entered the conservatory itself and really excelled. By his senior year, he had written the first piano concerto and played it with the orchestra, which was a great success and is still one of the pieces in the piano repertoire today. And another work that he wrote was Ilyich, which was an one-act opera, and that was performed at the Bolshoi Theater. It was at the Bolshoi performance that Tchaikovsky actually witnessed the performance and was very complimentary about Rachmaninoff's music. After Rachmaninoff graduated from the conservatory, he was making his name as a pianist and as a composer. He wrote several sets of songs and of piano pieces and the Opus 5 piano pieces for two pianos, and was making a name for himself, and also composed a tone poem for orchestra called The Rock. And you can imagine how elated Rachmaninoff was to hear that Tchaikovsky had agreed to conduct a performance of The Rock. At the time, Rachmaninoff actually went off and was on tour to perform Ilyich one more time in Kiev, conducting that performance. And it was there that he heard the sad news that Tchaikovsky had passed away. You may have heard the stories that he died of cholera, possibly by drinking tainted water. There were rumors that this might have been an actual suicide. Anyway, Rachmaninoff was devastated and immediately wrote his Opus 9 Trio Elegiacal Trio, which is a massive work really dedicated to a great artist, in the same way that Tchaikovsky had written his own piano trio in A minor Opus 50 to a great artist, which was upon the death of Nikolai Rubinstein, one of his heroes. So Rachmaninoff's Trio Elegiac is Opus 9. The set of 6 pieces is Opus 11. So they're written around the same time. And for the four hands work, it begins with a barcarolle. A barcarolle is a boat song, so you'll hear the rhythm of the rolling water, and I'll just play a little bit of it. So this work is in G minor, and it's obviously sad. It reminds me very much of the barcarolle of Tchaikovsky, and it's in the same key of G minor. This comes from Tchaikovsky's wonderful set called The Seasons, in which he writes a piece for each month of the year, and this is actually June. I'll play a little bit of it. So maybe I find a kindred spirit, maybe it's the key, maybe it's the sadness involved in that, and the fact that they're both bark rules. But I find a kind of commonality between those two. In the Rachmaninoff, it's got this beautiful melody, but it also builds to great points of virtuosity, especially in the primo part, which Ayaka will play. You have this kind of swirling figuration that is quite difficult. The set does have some different sides to it. The second movement is a wonderful scherzo. So you hear the lightheartedness of this joke. There's also lots of very unexpected phrasing. The third movement is called Russian Theme, and again is perhaps a little sad. You hear the bell tolling that you hear often in Russian music. The fourth movement is a waltz, and it could have been written by Tchaikovsky. It could have been straight out of one of his ballets. I can't really play both parts, but I'll give you a little taste of the melody. I really think it could come straight out of one of his ballets. The fifth movement is a romance, although romance you might think sounds like a love song or something like that. This one is very angsty, again, elegiacal one. And the whole work ends with the final movement, Slava, which means glory, and it utilizes a quote from the very famous opera Boris Godunov by Modest Mussorgsky. This is one of the seminal pieces in Russian music history, and you may even recognize it. It's a very famous tune. Again, in the opera, it's praising Tsar Boris in the Kremlin Square, but you can hear the great patriotism, and perhaps this is his way of honoring the greatness of Tchaikovsky. I'll just play the melody. It builds, of course, to a great, like the Boris Godunov scene of this very patriotic melody coming fortissimo with the sound of bells pealing all over the square. So in the end, it's a very uplifting, I think, dedication to the greatness of Tchaikovsky, and we hope that you will enjoy. The concert will come to a close with some more Christmas songs. This is the Christmas Fantasy of Ilyich, and it is for 2 pianos, 8 hands. So it's actually 4 people at 2 pianos. It'll be my wife and I, as well as Curtis Pavey and his wife, Helena Kim. And it's a fun Christmas fantasy. It's a medley of all sorts of Christmas tunes. You'll have Carol of the Bells, you'll have Sleigh Ride, Have Yourself a Merry Christmas, Let It Snow, Angels We Have Heard on High, and it ends with Jingle Bells. So hopefully that will be a great way to finish the evening. I hope you will join us at the First Baptist Church. There's cocoa at 6 o'clock to 6:45, and then our concert starts at 7. It'll be a beautiful ambience with all the sanctuary lit up with candles and decorated, and we hope that you can come out and enjoy some beautiful music.